Welcome back to Football Coach Coordinator, episode number 5. I had a brief power outage in the middle of recording this particular episode and lost all of the footage from it. So the game was saved, though, so there was progression. Well, in that progression, we had a Colorado State game, one of our final 3 and most winnable games of the entire season, probably the most winnable game of the entire season, and we actually ended up getting absolutely hammered. Wow. Being fairly competitive. I mean, 100 yards difference generally means you're going to come out on the losing side, but certainly not get blown out in what was supposed to be a very close game. The difference really came down to 3 turnovers, including a pick 6, and 2 fourth down failed conversions, while also being 6 for 14 on third, which has been a real theme of this season. We just cannot convert on third down. Our rushing game has sucked all game, or all season. Nothing new there, but what's new is, well, what's been the regular theme throughout the season has just been our inability to finish late. But right now we are in the middle of the game against New Mexico State and leading 14-7. And actually where I was first and goal. Let's see if we can get back to a first and goal on this. So I only lost a few plays here, but let's see if we can get forward and get ourselves into position to go for a 21-7 lead on New Mexico State, who have a really strong offense and the nation's worst defense. That's one reason why we've actually been able to move the ball. But you can see we're not moving it at ease. We're just stronger than they are at this point. 2nd and 3. Let's see if we can go forward. That is a first down, but not first and goal, so we're not there yet. We're a little bit off on that yardage, the inside zone. There's a first and goal, and now we're back on track for where we were. Halfback off tackle does not work. Curl flats does not work. 3rd down, outside zone is not good for this situation. Let's go ahead and go with a medium pass. I think, 3 guys under. This guy's going to hit the back of the end zone pretty quick and then start to scramble from there. But take the tight end attack. He can then move towards the corner. Come on. No, we get sacked. 25-yard field goal, 17-7. Okay, well, at least we scored. We really lucked out because 2 plays had a first and goal. New Mexico State had a first and goal after just 2 plays and then stalled out, kicked the field goal to get back within 1 score. We are 3 minutes left in the second quarter here, so it's almost halftime. We could theoretically make this drive it till halftime, and if we can get at least a field goal and take a 10-point plus lead into halftime, you'd have to feel really good about that one. Now 3 minutes. Halfback sweep does not work. The drive does not work. We're set up for a 3rd and long here. 2 minutes left, and we punt. Started well, could not continue that momentum. Now we need to stop from the defense here. 51 seconds, 36 seconds. Yes, finally the defense does something for us. But literally the first time all season that I can remember. It's 24-10. 24-10. Wow. Oh, that was huge. I thought they started with ball, but apparently not. We apparently started with ball with the restart and everything, and a couple hours have gone by. I've had other work to do. Daycare program today. Busy day. Well, second half. And somebody's moving the ball. Can we hold them to a field goal? Yes, we can. Okay, that's not bad. They started well for the second half. They've definitely started to build some momentum, but we still have an 11-point lead. Now we need to get some momentum of our own. This is a really important drive. Not to get a touchdown necessarily. A field goal would be plenty, but to avoid a 3-and-out especially. And we've at least gone that far. One pass option gets us a little bit. Let's not jet sweep. It can work, but it can easily go negative and stall things out. I would much rather go with something like a cross flood, a not often used play, and it works great this time. 15 yards, first down. We're past midfield, and points or not, we now have some momentum. The only thing that could really hurt us here is a turnover. 4 yards on first. Tight end under does not succeed, sets up a 3rd and kind of long, but we get enough on the run pass option, and we've got the sticks moved. First down. Incomplete on first. Great run on second. Branch, 16 yards. That might be his best play of the season. I do not want to go 4 verticals from the 20. Let's go short All hitches, really short. I don't think they'll expect it. Good chance to complete. The big thing is, can you get any run after the catch? And we can't even complete. Come on, Watkins. Shallow cross works. First down. Not first and goal. We've got a chance to get a first down at the 1. The shovel option goes nowhere. Branch. No yards this time. The deep curls. No, 3rd and 10. Not 4 verticals, you idiot. Shallow cross gives you a good chance for the end zone. No, 28 yards, 95% chance. Okay, 27-13. Killed plenty of clock too, but also negated the momentum they had gained. So a stop here would be almost from the beginning of the drive here. Interception. We're going to start this drive from the 47-yard line, and we are going to start killing clock. We still have 20 minutes of game to play, but a 2-score lead when they've only gotten 13 all game could do something. We want to kill that clock here. Halfback sweep. Gains 1. Let's not go outside zone. Regular old curl flats. Gets a first down. Smash corners. Gets 9. Now we can go to the ground on a option run. Go with midline read option, and that works. It's a first down. We do not need a deep shot here. We can go play action, though. If we're going to take something deep, we want it to be a play action. I don't want a boot. This is not a boot situation. It's the only other play action is the power read. Okay, well, take the power read then. Does not work. Read option weak. Great gain there. 3rd and 2. The halfback mid draw is not good play right now. They expect to run, so a draw play is not going to be good under these circumstances, especially with a weak running back. But it's kind of a running situation. It doesn't have to be a running situation. Does not have to be a running situation. Slants middle. 5 quick, easy options. Enough for a first down. Yes. Read option works here. We've almost killed off the 3rd quarter. Curls, short pass, sure. Intercepted. But we killed off 5 minutes of the clock. We have given them bad field position. I suppose that's at least something. So, we're going to get the ball back at the 20-yard line. They do not score. They took off a good 4 minutes themselves. And we're going to go back into chew clock. Slot outs is fine. We can still pass some. This is not all run. In fact, we're still leaning more pass. So it makes the run a little more possible. Halfback sweep weak is okay under these circumstances. It's another first down. Halfback mid-draw could be fine here. We're still leaning pass. Can't believe it. Deep attack, yes. First down past the 50. 9 minutes left. All hitches. Okay. No on the quick slant. Let's go back to the option. Shovel. Short gain. Weiss takes a good one for these kind of plays. Does not work. 4th down. Ooh. No, I don't want to go for it here. You have a 2-score lead. We don't want to give them good field position. I'd rather pin them deep. So, punt. Yeah, punt. Conservative with a 2-score lead this late in the game. Make them earn it. There's only 7 minutes left. Last time they killed 5 minutes. Now they're up tempo, of course, so it's going to be different circumstances. Huge gain on 3rd down. 4th and 11, and they're going to punt. They didn't kill much clock. Still 5:48. Quarterback draw. We definitely need multiple first downs. They have all 3 timeouts. Quarterback power again, putting it in the quarterback's legs. 4:41 left. Oh, and a massive return. Oh, they have a short field. Special teams. Big time letdown there. Offense, big time letdown as well with a 3 and out. But at least they moved the ball a little. It's not like they went incomplete. They just couldn't convert. 3rd and 11. Field goal defense. 20% chance of a make. They don't make. They helped us kill clock. Now there's less than 4 minutes left. Looks like we're going to get that first win, right? Well, 2 running plays later, and we've got it down to 3 minutes. We need a first down, though. The Y stick gets it. Yes. And their first timeout. Jet sweep this time does work. Inside zone gets us a first down. 2 minutes left. They're out of timeouts. We're nearly there. No, don't go back to the jet sweep. Now it's really, really obvious where you're going to go, what you're going to do. So take the read option. 3rd and 6. 1:27 left. I'm okay going to the air. They're going to expect the run. We're leaning run. It gets the first down. We could take the knee. Game over. Barely outgained him, but we win by 14. 8 for 15 on third, still not good, but 1 for 1 on fourth. We win the turnover battle +1. That being a big part of the difference, but wow. Ooh, 3 new injuries, including our top offensive linemen, are not going to help us finish things off, but we have a bunch of guys ready to sign. How many, if any, will sign with us? An F potential linebacker, fantastic. No quality to begin with, and nobody else. One guy signs, and it's literally the worst of the bunch. Unlike season 1, for season 2, I'm starting to figure out what my limitations are when it comes to changing priority order. There's guys that are going to be too far behind to begin with. There's going to be guys that the AI just will not give offers to, and it's just out of my hands. So I have to play the game a little bit. I have to play off of the head coach and what they provide me with, and then run with it. And in doing so, we're going to get ourselves a good recruit, junior college transfer running back, but for us, that's good. For us, that's very good. For this program, that's good, whether I stay with the program or not next year. And right now, I'm absolutely leaning towards not, but you still work with what you have in the time that you have it. This is a new face, so he doesn't have an offer from anyone right now, but we're in the lead. So we want to get him up the order. He's up to 5th. This is points ahead estimate, not in priority order right now. We've got a guy here that I'm not very interested in, but we're well ahead, and he may commit soon, so I'm not pushing him up the order. Let the AI handle that one. But there's others. There's guys that it's not an ideal candidate. This is not somebody I would go after. But the AI's decided to go after him continually and has decided to offer, and we happen to be ahead. So where last year we ended up with very few recruits in the end, because the ones I didn't want to win the battles were the ones that the AI wanted to focus on, and the ones I did want to win with, the AI didn't want to focus on, and we got very few guys in the end because I wouldn't commit to the ones that they wanted, and they wouldn't commit to the ones that I wanted, and we ended up losing both sets for the most part. There was very little overlap between the two. So I'm trying to play a little bit more overlap, regardless of what I want. This guy's not awful, so we might as well go with what the cards that were dealt, right? Play the hand you're dealt, as opposed to play the hand that you want. In this case, so we're just sucking it up, getting by, and giving up on a few guys. There's a few guys that I just flat out know are not good, and we're just going to let them go. This is somebody I'd like, and I've got him fairly high up the list, but just getting the AI to properly commit to him is not happening. We're a little bit behind. But there are some new faces coming in after all those commits went through. So see what we have. A quarterback here, but we're 4,800 points behind. We just got into it. Too late. Here's one that we're behind on, but could be a maybe. I mean, he's got some potential and some durability. If they can give him an offer, would be worthwhile. He was just added to the list. This might be a decent one, especially since there's no offers. We might be able to get something going. So I'll try to push him up the list. We'll see. We'll see what the head coach does, and if he wants to offer out a scholarship. But I'll move him up the list at least. Well, it's going to take a win to achieve our goals for the year. For the athletic director, he's got 1 of 2 wins necessary. I've got 294 yards out of the 300 yards per game. I kind of thought we had it in the bag with the last couple of games and as close as we were, but the thing is, to bring an average up, there's a lot of games played, right? So you've got to offset that, and it's 9 games times 6 yards necessary, so we need the 300 plus 54 yards. So we need 354 yards in this last game of the season, but UConn is actually pretty good this year. They are a much stronger team than we are. We are getting the $5 million bonus at least for putting up 256 passing yards against Oregon State, but only 7 passing touchdowns on the year is nowhere near the 17 we needed. So we're going to not get the smaller $1 million bonus, but at least $5 million's coming. That's going to help. But we don't get to choose how it's invested. So last year there was 0 investment made. We're still at just 23. Wow, UConn, number 11 scoring offense in the nation, 26th in actual yards. Oh, that's scary. They score 31. We give up 35. They only give up 29 when we only score 13. We're going to start with the ball at least, but this is going to take a miracle. They are so much better than we are, and we have a lot of injuries, including 4 offensive linemen all injured right now. A couple of them still playing through their minor injuries, but otherwise, at 2nd and 10, this is a good first drive. No, that's not a good deep shot. Go medium, tight end under. I think it's a decent gain. Gives us a 95% chance to get on the board, and we take it and convert. So 3-0. Defense is going to have to come up huge today if we're going to have any chance. And we're going to hold them to a 48-yard field goal, which they have a good chance of making and do. That's a tough field goal. They've got a good kicker. We're already on a 3rd and long, and we end up with a 3-and-out. And their first play gets them to midfield, and they march right down the field. And this is the worry, right? We're going to have a hard time keeping up with these guys. 2nd and 2, take the option. Power read. Nice play there. Quarterback draw. Another first down. First quarter comes to an end. 3rd down. No. Punt. That's a decent drive. And we pin them deep, but they're pulling right out of it. Hey, defense. Thank you. Giving us another chance. But their offense is just so much stronger than ours. So I feel like, hey, we're having a decent first half here so far. Like, we've played well. We're setting up a 3rd and short. I think we can goal line, quarterback sneak this thing, and go backwards. Their D-line's just too strong. Punt. Great punt, though. But even if our defense does hold them, again, it's a bend, don't break. And they do eventually stop them, but, they move half the field. And we're not moving quite that far. We're moving, but we're not moving quite that far. We 3-and-out. So the field position game is going their way. But that's a great drive right there. 3-and-out with negative yardage. And we actually win the battle for now. We're down to a minute with 1 timeout. Okay. No, we're not going to go to the ground. Oof. We can't go medium either. So we're going to go deep. Fake going to the ground. It works. Just over a minute left. That was our last timeout, though. Run pass option is much too short of a play. If you're going to at least do this, go, like curl flats, where you get 2 guys that can either go out of bounds for a short gain, or you get about 7 yards. And there we go, out of bounds. That's the point on that one. They only gained 3, but they got out of bounds. Slot post angle. No, 3rd and 7. Corner strike. Chance to go out. No. Incomplete. 4th down. Punt. We can't afford to. We're only down a field goal, right? Or down a score. We can take it to halftime. Down a score. We're still in the game. But here they go. They got a stern talking to at halftime, and their offense shows up immediately, and we're in big trouble. Read option. We have to score here if we have any chance of staying in. Oh, come on. After halftime, you should not have the same penalties you had. It makes no sense. Curl flats. 3rd and 3. 3-and-out. Pick it up in the 4th quarter, down 23-3. Last 5 minutes, now 30-3. End of game, 37-3. 200 yards is all we managed. They are way too good on both sides of the ball and absolutely crushed us, especially when you throw in the rivalry stakes. We didn't stand a chance. Finished the season 1-11. As bad as the team was this season, it's a miracle that we came close to goals, but here's 5 more guys ready to sign this week. We're going to pick up a linebacker. And that's it, out of the group. The other thing I've picked up on as well is anytime the list changes, as in players are committing somewhere somehow, it's going to reset the list every single time. And so you've really got to manage it well. There are some new faces on the list. There are some guys that I'd like to get after, but there's also some guys that are impossible. Love Connor Love, but we were thousands of points behind on where there was already offers. So they're deciding to add somebody to the list at the last minute that's already down to the end of the pathway. We just added Love like 2 weeks ago. Looked great, but was not going to. It wasn't a realistic signing at all. So it's can be a little hard to follow. We do get a tight end here, not a very good one, but it's 3 stars. And see, there's the funny thing. I had Curry number 1, which had him actually as number 2 because the defensive guy was number 1, but Curry was number 1, and it didn't follow what I said. They didn't pitch him at all. He gained 151 points last week, is all. Now, he's still number 1 on the list, but that's the funny thing is you can change the priority list, and it doesn't seem to follow with it. So I'll expect an update regarding this before too long because it feels like what's supposed to be in our control isn't in our control. I can manipulate the list without manipulating the outcome. The number 1 guy on the list doesn't end up getting pitched. He was just targeted. That was it. 2 undefeateds going into the playoff with Alabama and Penn State. Oklahoma State and Notre Dame making the other championship qualifiers. Boise State and South Alabama, the last 2 getting in. And 1 guy ready to sign, but not for us, which I'm kind of grateful for. Not a good one. Just based on results, you would think that Ashton Genty just won the Heisman. Redshirt senior running back, Boise State. Kind of makes sense. A year off, though, but 19 touchdowns, 2,000 yards. Sam Barton has won the Defensive Player of the Year out of FSU. And Shimizu, quarterback, redshirt freshman for Michigan, has won the Freshman of the Year, while the Oklahoma State head coach has won the Coach of the Year award. First team All-Americans, including a couple of Ducks. And it's Boise State who has dominated the first team All-Conference selections. And they've dominated the second team All-Conference as well. Their trip to the playoff has gained them a lot of recognition. Boise State, who was unranked at the time, beat Fresno State, who was 17th in the conference championship, to make that playoff and put themselves on top. They were both 7-2. And we didn't end up being dead last. Our win against New Mexico State ended up putting us above them. But we were just right at the bottom, right at the bottom of the league in terms of, well, everything. We were 103rd in actual quality. We were 134th in points. We were 134th in offense. We did exactly what you're supposed to do. You know, maybe I didn't give the head coach enough credit, even though we have a guy number 1 on the list. If he's far enough ahead, they probably aren't going to pitch him anyway and sit on that and save that pitch for somebody else. So I really should stay involved just in case. But we miss out on 1 guy I'd like to get and get somebody else I'd less inclined to have, but he's okay, I guess. They said you got to work with what they give you, and that was one of the ones that they did give. So I kept him kind of high on the list. I never put him at the top, but 2 signings there. 1 wide receiver, 1 safety. In all, we have 8 commitments so far, but I bet you we have less than half of that. We have a tight end, we have a wide receiver, we have 2 out of 8. So it's still a problem this season as well, that we are just not securing offensive recruits. We've got 10 running backs on the list, and yes, we need 2 of them, but as much as I keep committing to it, the AI doesn't want to commit to them. Well, at least we got my personal top recruit, junior college transfer, who's got good enough quality to step into the rotation immediately. Penn State has beaten Michigan in overtime in the national championship. My other series, I think it took a good 15 years before there was an undefeated champion. This time we have one in year number 2. And even though I generally met expectations because the head coach did not meet his opinion of us dropped a little bit, but we are still safe. We're at a 50. Head coach's opinion down to a 45. We'll have to keep an eye on that one for next season. We're back down into F category for the fan base opinion. Head coach loses a level, but I gain 1. So we are up at least 1 level, and we have a point to place. And I think obviously it needs to go into coaching. We need to bring that all the way up to a 10. Missed expectations. So even though we made it, we didn't make it. And only 1 win did not offset that by much. So we just got the natural progression by being young. So we're definitely in a doomed position, and we actually have an expired contract. And he does not want to renegotiate, so we are not even being given an offer. Looks like we're going to be moving on. We're a free agent. And even though we have a decent evaluation, there's no offers anywhere. Oh, except for returning to Sacramento State. Come on. So the only offer we have is to stay put. I think the best option for me is a 4-year contract with no guarantees. So we have the option to leave soon enough because I really don't want to stick around very long. So it looks like we're going to be spending another year at Sacramento State. There were some retirements around the league. Quite a few. Well, 15. I guess that's not that much. None of the programs were bad, though. And all of the retirements had positions. All in their mid-60s. So we are losing our one mid-80s offensive lineman and our one mid-80s quarterback who really didn't do good. 14 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. He was sacked 54 times. The best thing he did for us was get 6 touchdowns on the ground to at least make a total number of a positive balance of 1 in terms of touchdowns versus turnovers. That was in the 24 games, though. That was not just this season. That was over the 2 years as our quarterback. After that, not much lost behind. Some mid-70s is all. So we have a kicker and 2 D linemen that are already set to be cut. We have 0 transfers out, which is good. We're at 74 on the scholarships, meaning we only have 11. There's 9 incoming recruits so far. That's not a lot of openings. I can absolutely use the 1 that I have at my disposal to find somebody that we'd like to get rid of. Our quarterback picture does not look good right now, though. We've got a true freshman at 65 overall and a redshirt junior quarterback who's just a 71. You'd figure he'd make a bigger jump going into his senior year, but maybe 75, 76 overall. Hopefully we can find better in the transfer market. We certainly haven't found any good recruits. The only 2 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks they had. So there was 2 quarterbacks that are absolute garbage that the AI was really keen on recruiting, either one of them. Poor quality, awful potential, D- at best. And then 1 comes along late in the recruiting cycle who was really good, but it was too late. There was already 2 schools ready to sign him, and so we've already missed out on him. So hopefully we can find a transfer quarterback. The possibility is absolutely there, somebody looking for a starting job. Running back's looking a lot better than it's been. A lot better. 3 younger guys, 4, and a senior, ready to step in. Wide receiver, definitely nobody worth cutting at this stage, and you got 2 guys of quality heading into their senior year. Tight end, 74 is not that bad. We do have a walk-on tight end. Doesn't take up a scholarship, so we really don't need to do anything with that one. We can leave him around. It's not going to free up a scholarship. Offensive line, they're going to need some help, right? We're losing that 1 guy of quality. We're going to have plenty in the 70s behind where we had a lot of 60s this year, but still in a rough state. And how much development are we going to get with terrible training facilities, right? Really, there's nobody obvious to cut. We're cutting a kicker who's a bit behind everybody else already. So Alabama's junior quarterback goes number 1 in the draft. A South Alabama quarterback is going number 2 in the draft. Good on him. We have nobody drafted. No surprise there. And in the school record books, year number 2, plenty are set, especially like by Watkins. That's career records, right? Guys who played both years. But as for single season records, Watkins had a better year than last year, and that's the bulk of the records set for the year. We did have a number of individual game records, many by Watkins, all in losses, at least for him. The 1 win was actually not that great of a game. As for the team records, a few. Points per game was better. Yards per game, passing yards per game at least, not total yards. But 17 turnovers. 18, 20 plus yard plays. We did set our record in points in a loss, 2-point loss. But before we head into that transfer recruiting portion of the year, we're going to go ahead and call that an episode. Not a great second year. Sophomore slump was a real thing, but we just graduated a ton of guys, and recruitment-wise brought in next to nothing. We're just going to have to go with fingers crossed that it's a better recruiting class this time around. And so far, it's looking better and not better. There's a lot of battles where we're ahead. I think we'll end up signing more guys than we had a year ago, and a few better guys than we had a year ago, but not good. The recruiting class is going to be pitiful. I know that I, controlling a whole school and controlling everything, can do a whole lot better. Even when I was starting out, even when we were going 0-12, 0-12, 0-12 in the early seasons, we were still recruiting better than this. And we quickly had training facilities at a stage that was higher than this. So sticking around this school is going to be a real problem. They're going to be really, really bad. We need to jump ship as soon as possible. But we got forced into sticking around at least another year. We very nearly ended up jobless. The head coach didn't want to offer us something. The athletic director decided he did want to offer us something. Saved our bacon. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.